Well, welcome to Pixelated. I'm Juice, and today I'm diving deep into the eerie world of Still Wakes the Deep, the latest and greatest horror adventure from the Chinese room. So grab your headphones and turn off them lights, because today's review is going to be a scary one. For those who are not familiar, Still Wakes the Deep is a first-person narrative-driven horror game. It takes place on an oil rig in the North Sea during the 1970s. You play as an oil rig worker who finds himself amidst of a horrifying, mysterious event that starts unfolding. The game's premise alone sets a unique stage for a horror, don't you think? Let's talk about the storyline and the setting. The game does a fantastic job of creating a sense of isolation and dread. The oil rig is a perfect setting for a horror game. It's remote, confined, and surrounded by the unforgiving sea. The story is revealed through exploration and interactions with the environment. As you navigate through the rig, you uncover details about the crew, their lives, and the ominous events that led to the current situation. The narrative is deeply engaging, making you feel like you're part of a gripping horror movie. Every detail, from the sounds of creaking metal to the distant echoes of the ocean, contribute to an atmosphere that's both immersive and terrifying. Next up, let's talk about gameplay. Still Wakes the Deep is all about exploration and puzzle solving. There's no combat in the traditional sense, which means the focus is more on survival and uncovering the mystery. This approach intensifies the feeling of vulnerability, making every encounter with the unknown even more frightening. The puzzles are well integrated in the environment, requiring you to pay close attention to your surroundings. They're challenging enough to keep you engaged, but not so difficult that they become frustrating. This balance keeps the gameplay smooth and the tension high. Now, let's discuss the visuals and sound design. The Chinese room have a knack for creating visually stunning environments, and Still Wakes the Deep is no exception. The oil rig is meticulously detailed, with every corner of the rig telling its own story. The lighting and shadows play a critical role in setting the mood, often making you question what's lurking just out of sight. The sound design is where this game truly excels. The ambient sounds of the rig creaking, the distant waves crashing, and the haunting echoes make for a spine-chilling experience. The voice acting is top-notch, bringing the characters to life and adding a depth to the story. Every sound, from the subtle to the startling, is designed to keep you on the edge. Speaking of being on the edge, let's dive deeper into the atmosphere and horror elements. Still Wakes the Deep doesn't rely on cheap jump scares. Instead, it builds tension slowly, creating a sense of dread that lingers. The horror is psychological, playing on your fears of isolation, the unknown, and the supernatural. The game uses the environment masterfully to scare you. Claustrophobic corridors, darkened rooms, and sudden, unexplainable events keep you constantly alert. It's the kind of horror that gets under your skin, making you hesitant to take the next step, but too intrigued to stop. Let's not forget about the character development. Even with all the horror, Still Wakes the Deep manages to create compelling characters through audio logs, notes, and environmental storytelling. You get to know the crew members and their personal stories. This adds an emotional layer to the game, making the horror feel more real and impactful. You're not just scared for yourself, you start to care about what happened to those people, which makes the experience even more immersive. The emotional connection you build with the characters enhance the overall narrative, making every discovery and revelation more real. So what about replay value? While Still Wakes the Deep is a short game, its dense atmosphere and storytelling invite you to revisit it. There are layers to the story you might miss on your first playthrough, encouraging multiple runs to fully uncover the mystery. Overall, Still Wakes the Deep is a masterclass in atmospheric horror. It's a game that grips you from start and doesn't let go until the very end. The combination of a unique setting, immersive storytelling, an intense atmosphere make it a standout in the horror genre. So, if you're a fan of horror games that focus more on atmosphere and story rather than combat, Still Wakes the Deep is a must play. It's a hauntingly beautiful experience that will stick with you long after you finish it. So, on the pixel scale, I'm giving Still Wakes the Deep a solid 9 out of 10. Well, thanks for watching the first episode of Pixelated. If you enjoyed this first episode, make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, and comment down below. Have you played Still Wakes the Deep, or are you going to pick it up after watching this review? Let me know down below. Also, while you're down there, tell me what you want to see next here on the channel. Do you want to see another review or some Let's Plays? Let me know. Remember, I'm Juice, and like always, stay pixelated.